Welcome back to our channel, Live Well While Living. Today I am going to share with you a super simple way to make your own jerky. And it just takes a couple of ingredients, nothing too extravagant. It's ground chicken, and then it's going to be a teaspoon of baking powder. And then you can add whatever seasoning you like. We love using the taco seasoning that we make from scratch. A lot of times the taco seasoning in the packets that you get at the store just has a lot of extra fillers in it and garbage. So we make our own taco seasoning. We have also tried it with barbecue seasoning, but to each their own. So play with it, figure it out. But basically you just take your ground chicken and put it in a bowl, add your teaspoon of baking powder, and then add in however much of the seasoning you want. I added quite a bit. We like it pretty, flavorful. And then you just mix it in and you keep adding it till, it seems pretty coated. Then what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna show you my little countertop here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put the chicken on some parchment paper, okay? And like I said, I already have the seasoning mixed in, and I'm just going to kind of flatten it out a little bit here. Spread it around on my parchment paper, because what we're going to do is we're going to flatten this out as flat as we can possibly make it. And I am going to just sprinkle it with a little more seasoning. Just to kind of coat that top. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna spray it with some avocado oil or olive oil. And this is just so that the parchment paper on top of it doesn't stick to it, okay? So we're gonna put our parchment paper on the top, and then we're just gonna like press and squeeze to flatten it all out, and just kind of, I like it in a circle. You could, it doesn't really matter what shape it is, just as long as you're pushing this out to a very thin thickness, because remember, this is going to be our jerky. And I'm just kind of spreading it out, thinning it out as I go. And in the meantime, I've got my oven preheating to 375. Mine, I have to turn it up to about 400 though, because my oven doesn't seem to get very hot like it should. So you just gotta kind of mess around with your oven. Some people's ovens tend to be a little bit hotter than others, so anywhere from 375 to 400 will be great. We almost have her thinned out here. It's gonna be about 1/4 inch thick. So you really want to make sure that that gets spread out nice and thin. And the reason being is then you're gonna have more of a, not really crunchy jerky, but it won't take as long to bake. And it'll be a really good consistency. So we just about got that set here. And 1 pound of ground chicken does make quite a bit. So, I mean, this has got to be good 12, 16 inches. If you're thinking like a large pizza. All right, so we're gonna peel off the top here. Look at that, looks so good. I mean, you can kind of see the richness of the seasoning in there. Doesn't that look good? And you can kind of see the thickness there too. It's about a 1/4 inch. Okay, so I'm gonna transfer that to my pizza tin. You could also put it on like a jelly roll pan or a baking sheet, but just something to cook it on in the oven. We're gonna stick it in. Like I said, we're gonna let it bake for 20 minutes. And then you're gonna shut your oven off and then just let it sit in there for like at least another 10 minutes or so. You just wanna make sure that it looks done, that it looks like it's crispy and not leathery, if that's a good word for it. So, all right, I'm gonna let this bake and then stay tuned. I'll share with you what it looks like in the end. All right, welcome back. We've got our chicken homemade jerky out of the oven. Take a look at this. Doesn't that look delicious? Here, I'll turn that down a little bit more so you can see the consistency. So like I said, depending on how hot your oven is, it could be 20 minutes that you want to bake it for and let it kind of sit in there for another 10, or turn it up to like 400 instead of 375 and cook it for 30 minutes total. It just depends on how tough, crispy, chewy you want it. And then literally, I'm just gonna cut it up with a pizza cutter, and you can cut it however you'd like in whatever size pieces you want. I'm just gonna do kind of like a 2-inch piece or so. And then look at this. There is our homemade chicken jerky. So incredibly healthier for you. Doesn't have all the crappy ingredients in them like store-bought jerky, because you're controlling what you're putting in it. So, hope you enjoy. Let me know. Share your comments. And stay tuned for more at Live Well While Living.